Well, it's that time of the week again where we get to talk about brand new VR games coming out this week, new VR games coming out next week, and of course some of that juicy freaking VR gaming news. But as always, before we dive into that, I ask you, if you enjoy this video, smash the crap out of that like button or gently push it. It's up to you. And of course, if you're new to the channel or you've been watching these videos for a while but unsubscribed, then subscribe. It really helps out this channel a massive amount. And of course, it means you get delivered freaking awesome VR content straight to your face every single time I upload it. Now, let's dive into new VR games this week. First up, we have Lovesick, and this is an escape room game with a bit of a sort of narrative tale that is woven throughout it as well. Now, this is done in a very artsy style, and I'll be honest with you, it's not particularly my kind of game. I actually really like escape rooms, but I wasn't overly keen on sort of like the way that this game is delivered to you, and I'm not overly keen on the art style as well that the game's sort of presented in. Now, does that mean it's a bad game? Absolutely freaking not. It's actually a very solid game within inside of itself, and I'm sure a ton of you have enjoyed it, but for me personally, this just wasn't really hitting sort of the vibe check that I wanted out of a freaking game. So, nonetheless, cool game if you like this kind of thing. Just know that it's very artsy going into it, and it's going to deal with a bunch of sort of, you know, artsy stuff. Next up, we had Exocars drop on the PSVR 2, but unfortunately it was missing one very key feature. There was no multiplayer mode. Now, multiplayer isn't handled exactly like how you'd expect multi to be really at all. It's more like a ghosting of your friends and stuff like that happens in this game, but nonetheless, multiplayer was not included in this build of the game. It's due to be coming out towards the end of March, so just know that if you got this and you're like, where the hell is multiplayer? Well, it's coming at the end of March, kind of, and the reason for that is that apparently PS sort of QA said that they couldn't do what they were doing. I'm kind of intrigued to like why you wouldn't just hold off the entire release of this, as it seems to be probably quite damaging, but then again, there is no refund policy when it comes to PlayStation, so I guess they got you if you bought it. Nonetheless though, this game is actually, it's a pretty decent racer when it comes down to it. There's not a lot of meat to this, and honestly, if you were going to buy this, I would say like maybe spend a little bit extra and get Gran Turismo 7 if you don't already, if you're looking for a sort of racing itch to scratch, just because honestly on PSVR 2 it's just a way better experience, and it's pretty hard to beat premium when you come in with anything other than premium. When it comes down to multiplayer, definitively GT7 is probably the better of the two options. And not just that, it's just an all-round better racer. You can even race Exocar style cars in GT7, so if that's what you're looking for, you can still get that. VR gaming news. Kicking things off with some actually very good news, Alien Rogue Incursion released on the Quest 3 earlier this year, and honestly at the time of its release, as I said in one of these videos, it was just pretty badly looking game. It really did not hit the notes it was supposed to. It looked pretty bad. There was a lot of foveation going on, and just all in all, graphically it looked pretty crap. Now, they knew this, and they had already addressed the fact that they were going to do an update. The update took way longer than they were expecting to actually come out, but now it has finally dropped, and it's made a huge difference to this game. It's really brought it up to what I would say is a Quest standard now. Of course, you know, if you really want the true experience of this game, I would highly recommend you do it on PSVR 2 or PC, but if you're going to have it on Quest, this is really about the best it's going to be. So props to them for actually holding up on their promise. This is a really good example of when a developer actually pulls through and honors what they said they were going to do. Real shame that they couldn't have got this on release date, because I think it would have got a lot more excitement around sort of like people, and you know, no one would have been making those videos where it looked crap. So unfortunate for them, but also props to them for actually pulling through on this. If you've been holding out, now is actually the time to pick it up on Quest. And I did say that I would tell you when it happened, and I honor my promises too. Next up, Vertigo 2 Into the Ether DLC has been delayed. It's now going to be coming out in April. Now, personally, I'm very excited about this, but of course, you know, delays aren't always necessarily a bad thing, as I've just spoken about previously on the other two games, that really sometimes a delay is actually necessary. And in this case, I'd much rather a delay and have the game be freaking awesome when it comes out, than it come out and be like, oh yeah, but we're going to fix that at some point. So when it comes to delays, I'm all friggin' for it. In some freaking exciting news, next week on the 11th of March, we have the VR Gaming Showcase. Now, this is going to be showcasing a ton of brand new VR games, and a lot of that which seem to be kept under wraps, like they are not telling anyone what's going into this show, and I think that's the most exciting way to handle things. Personally, I absolutely really rate this as a gaming showcase when it comes to showing off what new VR games we have coming up sort of over the next few months, so this is going to be freaking exciting. We've got some exciting news coming from Flat to VR Studios, where they're going to be releasing a new game. So I'm excited to see what they have been working on. We have some exciting news from a bunch of other developers, including Hitman, World of Assassination. So again, I'm just excited to see what they're going to be talking about in this gaming showcase. And I'm excited to see if Hitman's going to be crap or good. I mean, I still way lean on this is probably going to be pretty bad again, because we've been burnt many times. But nonetheless, I'm still excited to see exactly what it is that they're going to be bringing to the table when it comes to these brand new games. You know, that's my bread and butter at the end of the day. I love talking about new VR games, so it's a pretty exciting time. If you can't make the show, don't worry. I will have a comprehensive coverage of it right here on the channel directly after it finishes airing. So, hey, there'll be a video there for you to catch up on everything you missed, if you missed anything, of course. And the final one on today's list is actually about Animal Company. Now, I have actually never spoken, I don't think, about Animal Company on this channel, and I should, because honestly, it's a ridiculously fun game. Now, I personally only got exposed to Animal Company about 3 or 4 weeks ago now, and I have played a freaking ton of it ever since. The reason being, this game is stupidly fun. It's pretty damn addicting to get back in there and just want to do some more runs. It changes literally every single week. There is a brand new update in this game. There's a ton of exciting stuff around Animal Company that's just continually happening that really just draws you back in. Now, I haven't made any content on it because, well, we don't really make gameplay videos so much on this channel anymore. I will do occasionally for really exciting things, like we have Wonder of Fates coming up. I'm going to be making a video on that. But, you know, just in general, I'm not making a ton of gameplay videos anymore. I did want to shout this out though, because it has now overtaken Gorilla Tag, which is a pretty big deal. That's pretty much the most popular game on the freaking VR platform right now, and to see another game actually challenge that is really exciting. And not only that, when it's a really quality title, I'm also pretty damn happy. Let me know down below if you guys like playing Animal Company as well. Should I make a video? Let me know in the comments down below. I mean, I've got a ton of footage from where I played this game, so maybe it's time that I finally release it into a video. You guys let me know. Coming up next week. Next week we have Path of the Fury Episode 1 finally dropping. I'm very intrigued to see whether this game is going to be trash or good. Nonetheless though, we'll find out when we get to play it. This has got quite a unique sort of PS1-esque sort of style about it, and you're going to be going in there fisticuffing, beating up the living snot out of a bunch of people, feeling like you're in an action movie from the freaking 80s. So I'm down for this. Like, on paper, this sounds like a really fun, cool game to experience, and in action, I guess we'll find out whether it is or isn't. Next up, we also have Mythic Realms dropping next week. This is a brand new sort of roguelite type sort of mixed reality and virtual reality game. I'm pretty intrigued to see what you guys and girls think about this. I've personally, you know, seen a fair bit about this, and being in sort of the mixed reality scene myself, I'm intrigued to see how they handle some stuff. I'm not very keen on the art style of this game, I'll be honest with you. I always prefer leaning a little bit more into something either just not that stylistic, maybe a bit more realistic would be sort of more my bag, but nonetheless, this looks like a very interesting game. Looking forward to trying it out for myself, and of course I'll be giving you my thoughts and opinions when I do next week. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this video. A little bit of a shorter one this week because, well, news was just a little bit more sparse. But we are going to be going forward into March with some pretty exciting stuff. I'm also going to be heading to GDC next week, which is over in San Francisco, where I'm going to be speaking to a ton of developers to be able to get them more sort of like inside scoop news when it comes to new VR games. And of course, I will be feeding back to you guys and girls once I get back to let you know all the juicy stuff that I find out. I'm pretty excited about this one. This is really a sort of conference that's aimed mainly at developers, so it gives me a direct link and a way to chat to these people about what their projects are going to be. And then again, when it comes to me talking to you guys, I get to give you way more insight into these things. Other than that though, guys, thank you so much for watching. Smash like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out, bye.